Now, if you guys remember, I had did a video on the Marvels that actually went pretty big. I was surprised that it got that many views, and I made the video on the Marvels because I was discussing the whole issue going on with the movie and the fact that it's been delayed twice now, and how hilarious it is to me that one of the most diverse movies that is supposed to be in MCU's Phase Five lineup is being pushed back now a third time. But apparently, the Marvels is now being rumored to be a shit show simply because Brie Larson is upset it's not called Captain Marvel 2. Now, again, I don't know if I necessarily believe this rumor coming today from Fandom Wire, and the reason why I don't necessarily believe the rumor is because I feel like Brie Larson, even though she probably does have a very big ego and she would be mad that it's not called Captain Marvel 2. I mean, listen, I would be mad. I would feel like I got sidelined for someone else that kind of came in last minute, but it is what it is. I feel like Brie Larson is also a massive progressive, and I don't think that she would honestly be mad at them not calling it Captain Marvel 2 because it would allow her to be able to say, well, I stepped to the side to allow the diverse queens to show off their skills and take over the movie and really show us why diversity matters. You get what I'm saying? Like, I feel like she could absolutely pander to all of that stuff, and I don't think she would necessarily want to back off from that. So I don't know if I believe this rumor, but let's see what this rumor has to say from Fandom Wire and see if it makes any sort of sense. So it says many changes have been happening with Marvel Studios in the lead up to the Phase 5 and Phase 6 of the MCU. With Phase 4 films like Black Widow, Thor Love and Thunder, and Ant-Man the Wasp, Quantumania opening to lukewarm responses, there seems to be uncertainty within the Marvel camp regarding the films to follow. This has led to a bunch of delays, including the release of the Marvels, aka Captain Marvel 2, which has now been postponed to November 2023. In addition, there are rumors that the star of the film, Brie Larson, is reportedly not satisfied with certain aspects of the film. I mean, I guess Brie Larson is definitely has an ego. Okay, you can tell she has an ego in the way she interviews. Anybody who has that big of a victim mindset, or anybody who believes that they have white privilege, they definitely have a massive ego to be able to admit something like that in public. So I definitely think that she has that ego, but I also think that the progressive side of her will take over that ego and allow her to virtue signal over the ego. But again, you just never know when it comes to someone like Brie Larson. So it says that according to above the line writer Jeff Schneider, Marvel Studios may be in trouble. The journalist speaking in the Hot Mic podcast said that the recent developments regarding delays of film releases have thrown the franchise into chaos. With specific reference to the Marvels, the writer started the failure of a few Phase 4 films as a reason for it to have been postponed twice already. Jeff Snyder went on to add that the film's star Brie Larson was apparently unhappy with the movie being titled The Marvels as opposed to Captain Marvel 2. This meant that the Room actor would have to share prominence with Teyonah Parris, who plays Monica Rambeau, and Aman Vellani, who plays Kamala Khan in the film. While Monica Rambeau was a prominent character in the TV series WandaVision, Kamala Khan was the protagonist of Ms. Marvel also on television. The news coming in that indicates that Brie Larson is dissatisfied with some of the elements of the sequel, including the VFX, has requested improvements to be made in those departments. Now that I believe that she could definitely be upset over the visual representation and the VFX of the actual movie. The reason why is because if you guys have been watching any of the recent Marvel products, whether in Phase 4 or Ant-Man Quantumania in Phase 5 or starting off Phase 5, the TV shows, it doesn't matter. If you look at the recent stuff over the last 5 to 6 years, my God, does it look terrible. It looks really bad. You know what? Let's even get it a little closer. Let's say the last 3 years. It looks really bad. So I can see her definitely complaining about the VFX. I would believe that one. I would 100% believe that one. But to believe that she has a problem with it being called the Marvels and kind of sidestepping herself to the diverse queens, I really don't think that would necessarily be a problem. I think she would chill for it. But again, you never know. So it says there have been a lot of obstacles for Marvel Studios and the Marvels as they march towards Phase 5 of the MCU. There's the alleged ego clash between the film's two stars, Brie Larson and Teyonah Parris, along with post-production issues. Furthermore, director Nia DaCosta's lack of experience in mainstream blockbusters have also added to the concern. The filmmaker's only commercial venture in recent memory was a slasher film Candyman in 2021, which was well received. Wow, I'm actually pretty surprised that they would give such a big movie to someone who's so inexperienced. But again, I mean, I guess you got to start somewhere. And Marvel is going to, hire someone who's probably cheaper. They have been cutting costs left and right. It's not just in the CGI department. It's in everything that they're cutting costs. So I wouldn't be surprised if directors were one of them as well. It says, despite all these concerns and obstacles, Marvel fans have been advised to keep their faith and remain positive as the MCU enters the next phase. The studio has always been strong and uncompromising with storylines and characters, and this aspect should surely hold them in good stead. With the franchise taking time to iron out a few fundamental issues in post production, it won't be long before we see their power through stronger than ever. Now, again, I just don't necessarily agree with this because I don't see these characters as being very strong. Okay, nobody really liked Captain Marvel that much when she arrived in the MCU because one, she arrived super late. When she arrived, nobody cared, right? And they were trying to make you care. They were trying to make you know and realize that Captain Marvel was the strongest ever. That nobody could take her. She's the strongest ever. And she was just ignoring your calls the entire time. And she only showed up towards the end after all the bad stuff already happened. You know what I mean? It's that kind of a thing. And it's unfortunate because, again, Captain Marvel in the comics was pretty cool. A lot of people enjoyed it. And now their version of the on-screen Captain Marvel is just very weak. And now they're kind of adding two more girls into it that really don't bring too much to the table. Kamala Khan, obviously, is a character that's getting a lot of fake reviews. There's no way in fucking hell this character is maintaining a 99% score in the audience and a 99% score or something like that for the critics. There's just no way. After a while, you kind of have to admit something's fake or at least being kind of messed with in terms of the numbers. And so I really don't know if they can be believed. Now, Kamala Khan, I really think is going to be the star of this show, the star of this movie. Kamala Khan is going to take over. Brie Larson is going to have to take a back burner to Kamala Khan because they want to push her. They want to push Miss Marvel. They've been pushing Miss Marvel this entire time on Disney Plus, and also not even just Disney Plus in general. They really want you to realize that Miss Marvel is like the new big thing. Little Indian girl, Miss Marvel, she's a new big thing. That's what they want you to believe, and I just honestly don't believe it. I just don't see it, and a lot of people don't see it. It was bad enough trying to convince us about Captain Marvel. Now you're trying to convince us about two other women. I like Monica Rambeau. I think she's pretty damn cool. But unfortunately, the way she was introduced in WandaVision just doesn't sell it for me either. So I really don't buy any of these characters. Brie Larson, I don't buy her at all, but that's because of my previous iteration of her when she was Captain Marvel in her solo movie and also in the Avengers movies. But I really think they should have just kept it to Monica Rambeau and Brie Larson. I think if they kept it to Monica Rambeau and her, I think it would have been a great movie. But now you're throwing in Miss Marvel. You got too many personalities in here, way too many different personalities in here, and it really starts to affect the movie, in my opinion. Like when you start doing stuff like that, it really affects the movie. It brings down the quality of the movie, and it gets people not as hyped. You know, this is another movie I'm not going to see. I'm not touching Marvel stuff. I'm really not. Like, if it's on Disney Plus, maybe I'll do it. But if it's on, if it's in the movie theater, there's no way in hell I'm spending movie theater money on a Marvel movie. There's no way. There's nothing that's going to come out that's going to make me want to do that unless I am heavily convinced by friends or something like that. Even then, I will not do it because I just refuse to give Marvel another one of my dollars. I just can't do it. I just remember the stuff they say. I remember the stuff they do. I remember how much they hate you. They hate everybody who watches this. They don't really want to be making nerd stuff. They want to be in politics, but they can't be in politics, so they basically made the gaming space political. That's what they want. So again, I'm not interested in this. You guys can let me know in the comments down below if you are. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.